Y'all drop something in the chat when you get in here so I know people are in here and we can start. Come on. Why can't I see my live stream so I can get in here? Are we live, guys? Yo, anybody in here? Y'all let me know when some people get in here and I'll start. This is why I don't like YouTube. It don't share nothing. Like, nobody sees my content. Like, nobody sees my content. Nobody sees my content. Maybe the earpiece will make my audio a little better. Hey, what's up, Aiden? How you doing, brother? Can you hear me, my man? Aiden, let me know if you can hear me, bro. Alright, that's what I wanted to hear. Let's see, can I make you a... I'm making you a mod. Aaron, I got you as a mod too, brother. Alright, we'll just, if y'all want to just chat for a minute, go ahead. I'll wait till a couple people get in here and I'll start. Now I got two of these, so I'm going to use the brand spanking new one so you'll see what it's like straight out of the box. The first one I got, it definitely needed a laughing. It had some high spots in it. At first I was kind of disappointed because it just didn't fit the bass very good and had some high spots, but it laughed real quick and everything was good. The second one I got is a lot better. Now, it's not perfectly flat, but not bad. Ordered 1200 Ultra. Oh, super nice, man. Did you hear they're supposedly going to do a 200 grit, a 1K, 3K, 5K, and 10K, I believe? Like, I want that 200 bad. Like, seriously, I want that 200 grit bad. I was talking to Dawn. Yeah, maybe maybe that's what I got on the first one. I mean, I ordered them literally a day apart, but you know, who knows? Maybe there was multiple batches. Like I said, this one's a lot better. Yeah, man, that 200 vitrified, Lord of Mercy is right. I want that stone so bad. I'll tell you what. I told them they need to make these in 1x6s. If they don't do it, I'm gonna buy a bunch of them. Take them off the plate, cut them, and I'm gonna make 1x6s and sell them. I mean, I don't want to make no money on it. I'll sell them literally for what it cost me. But these need to be available to. Exactly, yeah. 201. I want the 400 is. If I was just buying 3, yeah, I would go 200 1K. I probably would go 200 400 1K, because to me the 400, I don't really care about the 3K. And the 400, the 200 is just going to be too aggressive for even like super toothy edges, but the 400 lines up better with that. So for me it'd be the 2, 4, and 1K, even though the 2 and 4 are super close together, but I really don't care too much about. Now, well, you know what? That depends. It depends on how aggressive of a scratch pattern that 3K leaves. You know, if I could get a tighter, finer scratch pattern, but still with really good tooth structure, that's most 400. Yeah, exactly. 400 is probably the best as far as your more universal. It's going to be used more. Yeah, no doubt about it. Let me grab. They're actually kind of thirsty, believe it or not. They definitely suck up some aqua. So I'm going to just do a quick soak on it. Hopefully a couple people will get in here. I don't want to make y'all wait very long to start, but I'd like to have a couple people in. Yeah, it's weird, man. Like YouTube, I don't, maybe it's just me, but man, they don't share my content at all. Like I don't know what it is, but YouTube does not share my content at all. My son's getting into trouble. Man, I'll tell you, brother, I pray for you guys every night. And I'm not just saying that, I literally do. Your family and your son are definitely in the prayers and have been for pretty much since me and you first started talking. If anything is on my heart, it's families that have children with illnesses. Really? So he's going to be the first patient, huh? The first patient after the trial, or the first patient of a trial? I'd be scared either way, but at the same time, man, you know, like, I know, and you know, a lot of people don't believe medical, you know, the medical system has our best interest in it, and I understand why they believe that, but you have to you have to put faith in the medical system when it's something like that. You know, just like me, I I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys right now if it wasn't for, you know, heart surgery. And I get, you know, being the first patient of anything is terrifying, but keep your head up and pray, and things will work out, man. Gene therapy, but the way they get it is different through the spine. So, like a spinal tap. All right, we got 4 in here, so we're gonna. Yeah, anytime, brother. Like you guys get prayed for. I truly wish your son the best, and I mean that. I, as close as I am with my kids, I have a real soft spot for anyone that good parents that's trying to do everything to take care of their children, and you know, an illness is just breaking them down, knocking them down. But I pray that it gets better for you guys. I pray that this treatment works, and you know, just put your faith in it, man, and talk to God. Yeah, spinal taps, that's rough. That's, spinal taps are rough. I've been there before. I've had a lot of back issues, and I've had a many needles in the spine. We have some S35VN. I talked to the company, mini grits are coming. Yeah, I mean that's they need to. If they've got somebody who can make them for them and market them at this price and still make money, they'd be a fool not to. They will make an absolute killing on these stones. And if they made 1x6s, they would make a double killing. And if they don't, I'm gonna make them. You know, imagine, you know, if I can get 3 1x6s out of this. You know, the plates cost to cut. You know, get the good quality anodized aluminum plates is about what, $15, $12 a plate, something like that. Probably could get it better if I bought like 50 at a time. Buy a whole bunch of these stones, see if maybe they'll sell them to me wholesale, and make them and sell them for cost, and you know, help the community out, because for say $50 or so a stone, or even less really, you would have a wicked fast cutting, long lasting stone. It's something that needs to be, you know, like I said, I don't care about making money on it. I'd just be doing it to hook the community up. Plus, it'd be fun for me, and I have the equipment to be able to do it, you know, to be able to cut it and whatnot. So, if they don't, I will. Because I'm telling you, I'm genuinely impressed with this stone. Like for $100, it's crazy good. All right. So we got some S35VN from Cold Steel. I'm not somebody who likes S35VN very much, but I will say Cold Steel's S35VN's done pretty good. It sharpens decently, performs decently. And this will be a perfect one and done for S35BN. It's going to be really aggressive. So we're going to, this edge has been beat the hell and back, stropped back a whole bunch of times. Still super sharp. But we're going to cut it off. Gonna knock that old apex off, get rid of that fatigued steel. I really do wish, though, I wish they would just sell these stones without all the other packaging. I wish I could just buy the stone for like 75 bucks and not get all that other stuff. I don't care about that case, even though it's a nice case, but I don't care about it. I don't care about that strop. Yeah, I will, Aaron. Shoot me an email, bro, and just remind me, because I forgot, man. I gave my coworker one. Dude, yes, I love cold steel XHP knives. I have a Recon 1 in it. I have a brand spanking new box code 4 in it. And I have a Lawman in it. And I love the old like XHP hollow ground stuff. Absolutely love it. It's a shame that they don't offer that steel anymore. I mean, I get it. They was having, problems getting it. I can understand that. But now it's a fairly readily available steel. Alright, so I guess I see that 4 or 5's in here. It's good enough. We're going to go ahead and start, because I don't think YouTube's going to show it to anybody else anyways. Thank you, bro. As soon as I get off stream, I'll shoot you my phone number. Alright, we got the edge cut off. You know what? Knock it off. A little bit better. Yeah, I seen that. The XLs and XHP. I heard that they were gonna bring them back. I wish they would just do it with the regular ones. Even if they charged $20, $30 more, I'd be happy to pay that, because they really did do a good job with that steel. I mean, their stuff is right there with Spyderco's XHP. Sharpen mine on stone while watching. Heck yeah, man! Dude, that's what. Most of the time I'm sharpening, I've got the phone sitting in front of me, watching somebody sharpen. Alrighty, she's good and lubed up. So let's start. This knife is probably at about 18 degrees. I'm going to knock it down to probably like 16. Okay. She cut, buddy. I really like the feel of the stone. Burr. You already got a burr at the tip. I am lowering this angle a little bit too, probably 2 degrees or so. This is in the short. Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry if I'm bumping the camera. Let me unplug this charger so I stop moving that cord and shaking the camera. Okay. One thing about it, this stone actually has enough feedback that you got to be careful, or it'll cause you to dip on the way back. Okay, we've got about a half length burr. And I've definitely dropped the angle a decent bit. Work on this back here real quick. One thing that's impressed me about these stones too, they're very, very consistent. That scratch pattern is very, 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 very consistent. Okay. We've almost got a burr to full length. That's quick cutting to drop that, to drop that bevel 2 degrees or so per side. That quick. It's not quite there, but almost. Because this is a very well used edge, I'm going to actually remove more material than necessary, just to get rid of any of that fatigue steel that's at the apex. Ooh, that brought up a burr. That brought up a heavy burr. Oh yeah. So that's about where we was angle wise. Now that's where we're at. Probably about 2 degrees lower. Nice consistently formed bevel. Nice consistent aggressive scratch pattern. Man, I want that 200. Come on guys. Come on, Cheefarcuut. Get those damn stones out. I want that 200 bad. FSK and HK knife works are much louder. Yeah, for sure. Well, let me rephrase that. On the FSK, yeah, for sure. The HK, never used them. I'd like to try them, but yeah, I've never had my hands on any of those. I like the softer feel of this vitrified stone too, over the, much harder vitrified stones. That kind of soft feel is nice, and it does provide quite good feedback, to be honest. Have you, Aiden? Have you used the mostly sharpen with my wrist, with what my wrists are comfortable? Yeah, you know what? I have my angle that my hands naturally want to hold, but that typically puts me at about 15, 16. Usually around 15 degrees per side. This one I don't want to take quite that low, just because I actually kind of abuse this knife. How good are they? You like them? As you can see, we've definitely removed some steel. All right, let's get this other side. Chewing through that S35. Oh yeah. Eh. Got a little bit more. There we go. There we go. We're looking good now. Got to work that tip a little bit more. It handles gouging, which it really? So you'd say these are close to the HK stones? I'll tell you what, that when that 200 comes out, that will be a tip repair beast. Yep, we've already got that bevel set. Looking good. Got that tip called up. Looks like I'm a little bit flat back here at this, right at the plunge. Let's knock that down just a little bit. Yes, the HK knife works around $200. That's very good to hear. So yeah, I won't mess with them then if they're, comparable to these. I really, really like this stone. I like the feel of it. I prefer the hard skatey feeling of FSKs. I don't mind it, but I prefer the feeling of this. Not for the feedback necessarily, just for the feel. Yeah, that bad boy strips some steel off quick, and I'm using very little pressure. I could definitely beat steel up quicker than that. All right, we got a nice heavy burr. Full length. Okay, we're going to go ahead and flip that burr and start weakening it. Make some really light deburring passes. Man, the stone's good at $100. Just vacuums metal. Yeah, oh yeah, that FSK is ridiculous. You know, but I'll say something. When I first used the first one I got, um, it was just on some 4116 kitchen knife steel, and it just shredded the steel. That's why if you listen to my video, I said I can't tell much of a difference in cut speed between it and the FSK, but yeah, the FSK, when I sat down and run two knives together, the FSK definitely cuts faster. Not a ton faster, but faster. But I will say that I believe this stone, if you go by like say how FSK would rate their grits, this would be like a 500 if it was FSK. It's a little finer than the FSK in scratch pattern and cut speed. And definitely these stones are going to be more forgiving than 100%. Woo. That is one really nice, aggressive, sticky edge. She don't even need to be touched to a straw. If there's any burr there, I can't feel any. See how she cuts. Beautiful. Too aggressive the swirl cut, or the swirl push cut, I should say. There's a little bit of burr. I feel it grabbing. Yep, there's some burr right there. Just gonna go with a plain strop, no compound. Gonna go slightly over angle. Just knock off any of that burr remnants. If I wanted to bring the keenness up a little bit, probably hit it on some 1 micron and bring up that keenness a little bit. But I hate S35 if it's got any polish to it. If it's not just a purely aggressive edge, I can't stand S35 being. That should have took care of any of those little burr remnants. Looking good. Super aggressive. Still a little bit of burr right here, I believe. Let's hit it on a couple passes on some 5 micron. At exactly sharpening angle. Yeah, I might buy the whole lineup depending on what they put out, but I'll definitely buy the 200, the 200 and the 1K for sure. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that got that. Any problem? There was a little catch in that belly. There was a little piece of burr remaining. Beautiful. That's where we're at in scratch pattern. Let's look at it under a little microscope. Trying to get that camera does not like to look at that microscope image. Nice and aggressive, pretty clean. I do see a few little burr fragments. Nice soup. Look how consistent that scratch pad. Well, y'all can't see it, damn it. That's a super consistent scratch pattern. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm trying to show y'all, but that camera does not like looking at that screen. Anyway, this is a very consistent scratch pattern. Looking good. Thank you. Yeah, that's a nice crispy edge and perfectly formed bevel. Super consistent. That's what I want to see. Now this bad boy is ready. That is one crazy bitey edge. Lots of tooth. This is the only way you'll ever catch me using S35VN is with an edge like this. I cannot stand that steel if it's even at like 600 grit. I don't like it. I just don't like it. And of course we have absolutely zero load up. Yeah, I'm very, very, very impressed with that stone. Yeah, a strap killer, exactly, because see, during the day, the vast majority of stuff I'm cutting is feed bags, soil bags, rope, heavy twines, plastic banding. And for me, there's absolutely nothing worse than a slick edge. I don't care how sharp it is. If it don't have bite, then it's not going to work for my needs. I have to have that high bite, or else it just makes my job harder. And that goes for my job and my home life. I had a soft that, yeah, tell me about it. Hinderer's S35VN, I've had a few pieces of it, never liked it. I've never liked their 20 CV. I think I have three Hinderers left, two or three. I do have one in 20 CV, but it's brand new. It was just one that I got for a really good price and picked it up. It's more to flip it. And I have two in Magna Cut. And to be honest, didn't really care for their Magna Cut very much neither. Now I will say, I had an XM18 in 20 CV that was really, really, really good. The only piece of steel I ever had from Hinder that I would say was very, very well done. It was pretty hard, felt good on the stones, edge retention was perfectly acceptable, and sharpen nicely. Past that, I've never had a piece of steel from them that performed very good. Nowadays, I'll only buy them if I can, if it's, say, a friend selling it or something, and it's a smoking good deal, and they just need to get rid of it. That's kind of the only way I'll buy them now. I love Hinder. I love the brand, but I just don't like the knives. I don't like the way the knives perform. You know, I wonder what I'm doing wrong. Like other accounts that started around the time as me, same time as me, I put out more videos than them, and they're constantly growing, and I just don't get no views, and I don't know why. I mean, I get that I'm more of a niche channel that is not just showing every new $50 Amazon knife that you can put your hands on, you know, and they're kind of doing that, just showing tons of knives, but that's not my style. I want to teach. I want to help people learn sharpening and understand, you know, helping people understand steels and so on and so forth. And maybe that's just why I don't get no views. Except, you know, I've got a few people who watch every video, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, Aaron. I mean, I try. I really do. I want to help people in sharpening and understanding knives from a performance perspective. I just don't want to show every new Civivi and Kaiser that drops on Amazon. I don't want to do that, and it seems like that's what it takes to get views. And if that's the case, then oh well, I don't care about views. I'd rather have 20 people that really enjoy watching the kind of content I post, like you guys, and you know, that watch every video. I'd rather have y'all than I would 1,000 that just want to see every $50 Civivi that pops up. Yeah, I mean, Aiden, that's exactly what I'm targeting. I want that. I want it helpful and showing things that really nobody else does. You know, I'm not trying to be a commercial. And, you know, most of the other, if they're sharpening channels, I get it. They're making a living doing it. So they kind of have to be a commercial. I don't want to be that. I just want to teach you guys and show people different stones and higher end stones, be it fixed angle and freehand. And I mean, heck, besides for Jared, I really don't know of any other channel that really constantly uploads sharpening content. Yeah, Aiden, 100% the same. 100%. Oh yeah, it's not even close actually. If you looked at where my money has went in this hobby, it's 100% more has went to stones than went to knives. Probably by a significant amount actually. Like to be completely honest, if it wasn't for the sharpening end of the hobby, I probably wouldn't be into knives. Like, I mean, I would, you know, I would carry pocket knives, but I'm saying if it wasn't for the sharpening part of the hobby, I wouldn't have, but, you know, probably I'd have like a native and a Mannix, and that would be just about it. Yeah, I get it, Aaron. To me, it's what's fun. That the knives themselves, I get a new knife and it's like, oh, that's got a good action. It's smooth. Oh, I like that geometry. I flick it a few times, I'll look at it, play with it, put it in my pocket, and then that's it. You know, until I carry it, and then when I carry it, a lot of times it'll get used 1 or 2 times, and then it just gets put up, and that's that. My stones get used constantly. And there's such a huge difference between stones. To some extent, a knife's a knife. Yeah, they might have a different locking mechanism, they might have different blade shape, different ergonomics, but it's a knife. But sharpening stones, there's huge differences between stones. Like, and that, it intrigues me. Yeah, tell me about it, dude. I have, well, let me rephrase that. I had 2 Japanese natural stones. And they got yoinked out of my car before I ever got to use them. Okay, picked them up at the post office and went to work. And they was gone when I got in the car. Only 2 J-Nats I've ever had. Never got to use them. Big Oof is right. That was about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And what's funny, that's literally the only thing I've ever had, I believe. That's the only thing I've ever had stolen out of a car, actually. Yeah. You wanna know what's funny? I did, and they busted my window out. And what's really crazy is this. Like, what's the odds of somebody, I mean, they was in a bag in the back seat, but what's the odds? Just somebody walking by, seeing a bag and popping your window and running off with it. You know, they didn't give a damn. What the hell are these? You know what I mean? And they was not cheap. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe I've ever sharpened on any other Japanese natural stones. I've never. Let me think. I may have. It seems like I have. It seems like I've done a couple straight razors on one. You know, I don't know if I've ever actually got to sharpen on a J-nut. Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, man. It gets boring, bro. That, like, knives. That I don't get excited for knives anymore. About the only time I get excited is when Spyderco puts out a new Sprint in a steel that's very interesting to me. Yeah, 100%. 100%. You know that's what it was. They had no clue. And what's crazy, they probably got threw in the trash or something. And they were, oh, what the hell is it? Rocks? Threw them in the trash. It's probably what happened. Literally made me sick. You know, it 100%. That's what it was. Some meth head, crackhead, whatever. Oh, there's a bag. Let me snatch it. And shit, what's this? Some damn rocks? That can't get me no more, you know, no more, nothing to smoke. Do it in the closest trash can. That's it, man. That's exactly what it is. If you look, frame locks are what you know, you're when you're looking at anything high end, it's almost guaranteed it's going to be a titanium frame lock, and they don't do anything for me. I'm not somebody who likes overbuilt knives. Like, I'm not going to carry a 7-8 ounce pocket knife. You know what I mean? I'm not going to carry a 5-ounce pocket knife. The overbuilt stuff, like, you know, Hinders, for example. It's why, you know, I'll get them for resale, like to flip. But I don't really care about them as an actual tool. Medfords, I could care less about them. And when you look at, you know, the channels, of course I get they have to show stuff that draws people in. I get that. They're making a living doing it. So you know, that has to be factored into the equation. But I just don't find no interest in the stuff that most people are lusting over right now. Yeah, you know, I like that. That's a prime example. I like little, you know, 3 to 3.5 inch EDC style fixed blades in some really cool steel. That's interesting to me. A titanium frame lock in M390 is not interesting to me. But that's what people show. I'm glad you got, man, I'm telling you what. I've got every one of the 15B releases. In fact, my native was supposed to be here yesterday, but it'll be here Monday. And then I can't wait for the native lightweight. And I really want the little native as well. But I'm gonna, you know, have the full set of them, just for collection reasons. But 15B native, 15B Mannix, that is one hell of a good knife. And in my opinion, the lightweight is the better of the two. I love the G10 one, it's awesome, but I really, really enjoy the lightweight Mannix better. Just like with the native, you know, I'm getting the G10 one for the collection, but the one that'll be in my pocket will be the lightweight one. And I'll have two, because I'm getting a really smoking good price on the lightweights. My dealer told me it should be the end of next month, mid to end of next month, before they can get them. But he told me he was going to send me his dealer sample, so hopefully I have my lightweight in like a week or so. And what's really cool, I'm getting 2 of the lightweights, and I'm going to regrind one of them and take it down stupid thin and see how it performs. You know, the only thing I've ever had problems with any of the 15B knives, I bought 2 of the G10 Mannix when they first dropped. I got them from Blade HQ. One of them, the factory edge, was bad. How that got past quality control, I'll never know. It was terrible. Now that's the one that I ended up just making a user. The other one was perfect. The only issue I've ever seen with any of the 15B knives past that Mannix, my Military 2 had a bad tip. It looks like they dug it into the belt a little hard at the tip, and it enough to cause a little bit of discoloration. Other than that, the factory edges has been pretty good, and on the lightweight Mannix, that is a flawlessly done, on both of them, flawlessly done factory edge. Like they did a hell of a good job on those 2 Mannix. I guess enough people complained about the first ones that they said they weren't going to make that mistake again. But yeah, as far as the burn edge, my military, they did overcook that tip a little bit. It was just starting to get a little straw coloring to it. But I really love that steel, and I'm kind of sad that there will be no more of it. You know, I'm sure that if the demand was enough, maybe, you know, somebody will invest the money to be able to get the temperatures they need to create a 15B like steel again. But that's a steel that needs to continue in the knife industry. It is so good. Oh, you're lucky, man. If you would have got the first Manixes were a lot of them had really bad edges. A lot. I've seen quite a few of the PM2s that had not very well done edges neither. Man, just wish they did. Yes, dude, tell me about it. They really need to do a Manix in Rex 121. I would happily, and I'm not kidding, I would happily pay $300 for a Rex 121 Manix lightweight. Happily pay $300. That's the single knife that I believe that they should, if they're going to work with Rex 121, I get why they did the Sage. I know that's their test platform, and I love the Sage. But that steel needs to find its way to a Manix. We have the Maximum at 15. Yeah, exactly. It's 15B Manix, Maximet. Get us a damn Rex 121. Like, Eric needs to do that. They would sell an assload of them. In my opinion, it's the best knife. It's the best model they make by a long shot. Well, no, I wouldn't say by a long shot. The Native 5 and the Manix 2 are, in my opinion, the two best knives they make, with the Manix being the best. I really love the Native, but the Manix is just on another level. It literally is the perfect EDC knife. You know, I wonder. It's something I've pondered. I wonder why they haven't touched S125V yet. With how Spyderco is and steels, and how you know how deep they are, how deep they're in with working with extreme steels and offering stuff to the market that's just not really all. Why not do S125V? I mean, they have production S110V. It would make sense for them to do, you know, some S125V sprints, and that is one of the craziest steels out there. It would actually make for an extremely useful knife. And you would have ludicrous, you know, edge retention for, you know, just daily cutting tasks. And a steel that you don't got to worry about, you know, the masses don't have to worry about with corrosion issues. The only thing I can think is that it's just doing, you know, large batch heat treats. I would be surprised if they haven't tried to work with it. But maybe they're just you know, large batch heat treats, and they're having a hard time with it. That's the only thing that I can see as to why they would not continue, or why they wouldn't put out sprints in that steel. People would go crazy over it. This little knife right here, this thing's actually impressive. I picked it up on Prime Day for $50, and it's shockingly good. Oh yeah, S125E definitely requires diamond stones. I've sharpened quite a bit of it, be it customs and a couple Russian knives, production knives, and seems like quite a few customs in that steel, and it's awesome. The wear resistance of that stuff is freaking impressive, man. I have I believe I have a knife in it. I'm pretty sure I have two. I'm gonna have to look. I don't know if I have any S125V actually. Seems like I have two knives in it. What's up, Greg? How you doing, bro? You missed the sharpening, man, but hey, we're just sitting here bullshitting now. Yeah, tell me about it, man. Like M398. You're really high carbide stainless. Yeah, they definitely like it. And S125V, it's just cool. Like, it's just a cool steel. Have you ever seen S140V? No. Actually, right now, I don't have any case knives, actually. I had a case folder and was begged for it to sell it, and I finally did. And I mean, I regretted it, but it was a friend, and I couldn't keep saying no, and I just sold it. But no, I don't have any no case knives right now. Hell yeah, man. C&B Predator, that's a really good work knife. Yeah, S140V, you can go look it up. That I don't know why it has, and there's I'm getting tongue tied here. I'm sure there's pieces out there that's, you know, in it, custom pieces. Now, if they could build a heat treat to make that a serviceable knife steel, that is the end all be all edge retention steel. Like, I mean, yeah, it's not going to cut. Rex 121 would be, you know, technically a higher edge retention steel, but just look up S140V, or yeah, S140V, and that composition would be insane. Now, whether it would make a serviceable knife, I don't know. I'm sure that there's some out there. I'm sure that it's been played with, but most exotic piece of high-end is Vancron 40, huh? I don't have any Vancron pieces. None. I have some a piece of, I believe, Venatus 8, a custom in it. But no, I don't have any Vancron models right now. What's Vancron 40? I'm not familiar with that steel. I mean, I'm familiar with Vancron, but not that composition. What's it like? Where'd you win that Predator and CJRB, Greg? You win it on like a live stream or a giveaway? And who made the piece in Vancron 40 for you? You know what? I've got. It's like they're okay. So it's like a less stainless version of 110D. That with the stupid amounts of bite, that sounds like my kind of steel. All right, Aaron, be careful, bro. I'll be praying for you, man. That is cool. So, I've never had any of Andrew's knives. How are they? And I know they're priced reasonably. I mean, relative to like Shiro, they're priced quite a bit less, correct? Nice. And he does a good job with it, huh? I might have to look into one of them. Does he got any pieces that are nice thin geometry, or is most of his pieces like, what's his design language? I know I've seen a few of his knives, but I've never had one in hand. I could use something in like a 110D like steel, especially if it was on a model that had nice thin geometry. I'd be all over that. D Brothers Like a Dream, that's awesome. I'll definitely have to go look into some pieces from him. Oh, it's San Mai, huh? So it's a laminated piece with. That's cool. I didn't know they did steel. I didn't know that. I thought all his was just like, a mono steel type. That I've only seen a couple pieces from him, so I'm not really familiar with that brand too well. I didn't know they did. How much was that piece? Laminate. I enjoy laminated steels. It's cool to me. For shits and giggles, I'm going to sharpen a carbon sod buster on this vitrified stone. How hard, and also, how hard are his pieces to get? Is it something that you can just go buy, or is it something that sells out immediately and you're chasing drops? Dude, that's a score. And that's not bad even for exotic steels, laminated high-end construction, $600. That's exceptional. That's exceptional. I was figuring more like, you was going to say more like in the 900 to 1200 range. Damn, I bet you flipped out when you got that for 200 bucks, huh? Breathtaking steel. All right, I'll check it out after I get off the stream. How would you say the is it a folder or is it a fixed blade? Good old carbon sod buster. I thought it was a small knife since we did those dimensions. Was it a? It's fixed blade, okay. He does do folders, right? To make sure I'm thinking of the. Because it seems like the knives I've seen from that brand would be, you know, your typical titanium frame locks. Or am I thinking about somebody else? This thing is gonna chew this soft carbon up. Yeah, see that's where I was thinking, because that's actually the brand I was thinking with when it come to when I said the Russian knives. It's S125V. That yeah, I'm thinking of that brand. Yeah, yeah. Hell, maybe I'll pick me up one of his. Now that have you ever worked with any of his S125V? Because if it's good, maybe I'll pick me up one of them in S125. Copy, Shiro. Yeah. Yeah. So there's no copyright laws over there? Does he have any original designs, or are most of his stuff Shiro copies? Ah, I got you. Okay. I know I've got. Well, I don't know actually, but it seems like I've got two S125V knives stuck somewhere. I'm gonna have to go search for them suckers. I got to see if I have that steel. I've worked with it a lot, but sharpened plenty of it, but I don't know if I own any of it right now. Oh, okay. So folders are going to be more copies, fixed blades are originals. Gotcha. Let's see how fast this 200 or 400 grit stone can chew on some case carbon steel. Now this is what you call too much stone for the task at hand. Just out of curiosity, I just want to see how fast it'll chew up this carbon steel. And I like super aggressive edges on this stuff, so let's do it. Okay, that should got a burr up. This stone leaves such a pretty scratch pattern. Oh yeah, already got a burr. Full length burr. Look at that scratch pattern. Such a pretty scratch pattern and super consistent. I don't know how good that's showing on camera, but here, let's see. YouTube's compression, like, totally kills the quality of stuff. It's annoying. Let's see if I can get this. Woo, look how pretty that is. Nope, it ain't going to show y'all very good. No, that's too bright. It don't want to look at it. That is one pretty scratch pattern. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Took the glare off of it. Can you see? Yeah, y'all can see that now. That is a nice scratch pattern. It's really consistent. I got to give it. The diamond particle sizing in these stones is on point. There is, to the naked eye, hell, even when looking through the microscope, there is no drastically different scratches. But I would say it's probably closer to a 500 grit, realistically. Man, if you would have, I posted on my, the YouTube posts. I posted up. I had a link to these for $10 on Prime. Yeah, realistically, yeah, that's where I would put it. It's not a 400 grit stone, but for $10, this thing was a steal. All right, we definitely got a full burr. It literally just eats this steel right here. Ah, it was sold out. Gotcha. Yeah, for $10, man, like even at the normal like 22 or 23, it's a good tool to have just for the simple fact it makes super quick work of looking at your edge. You don't have to pull out the the stand-up ones. You just check. You can you've easily got enough magnification to see if you've got any burr. Let's see if I can get that to show for you guys. There we go. Come on, camera. I wish I could show y'all better. It's the best I can get it to show you, though. If only it could translate into belts and everything. For sure. For sure. No doubt about that. Realistically, that's pretty much today's limiting factor. And why? And I get it. I mean, nobody wants to go through, $300 in belts to make a 5-inch fixed blade. You know what I mean? Get a nice full burr. Start loosening that burr up, reducing it. I'll tell you what, I wish Case would just go back to that chrome vanadium, man. This new carbon stuff, I know the steel is very, very similar, but the old chrome vanadium stuff just sharpens nicer. This stuff right here will get a foil burr on you in a heartbeat. But this is going to be a nice cutting edge right here. I did this to see if this stone would load any with softer steel. And it's not loading at all. Hey, what's up, Ray? How you doing, brother? Happy to see you here, my man. Sorry, oops. Sorry if it's made y'all seasick. And that's just rinsing it right off. Absolutely zero load up. Even with that extremely soft steel. Yeah, I agree. Or just use something like 01, exactly. But that carbon, I don't know, what, 1080, something like that. And they run it super soft. And it's just, I don't know, it's just not very good. Their chrome vanadium stuff back in the day was so much better. Just gonna hit it on some 5 micron to, well, let's see how it deburrs. It didn't try to foil burr on me then. And there's a little piece of burr right there popping up. Well, I seen it. I don't see it now. Must have snapped loose when I touched it. Oh, there it is right there. But nice, consistent, tight scratch pattern. And it really is definitely a finer stone than 400. I mean, it's finer than 400 grit. For sure. Make a couple passes on a bear stroke and then a couple passes, or 1 or 2 passes on some 5 micron. Should be nice and super duper aggressive. Let's just make 1 pass per side on 5 micron. Be a nice aggressive edge. I will say that the scratch pattern to the eye is finer than 400 grit, but the edge profile it leaves is really aggressive. I would say a little even more so than your typical 400 grit. Its edge profile is a lot like if you just come off the FSK 400. It's got a lot of bite. If you like bitey edges, you're gonna love this stone. Super toothy. It's a beautiful edge. Exactly the kind of edge that I like on these knives right here. Oh yeah, she'll cut. I'm really excited to try all the grits. Hell, if they release a full line, I might buy every one of them. You know, at $100 a piece. If If every other stone that they put out is as good as this one, at $100 a pop, that's a score. But right now, I'm more excited for the 200 than I am anything. I want that 200 bad. Yeah, 52-100 exactly. That really would be the ideal steel for them to work with. It's easy to work with, and it would be a good performing steel for. This here is just a hot vinegar. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that would just be an absolute steel ripper, and that's what I want. Hell, I could all my personal sharpening needs. I could get by with, yes, if I had like a 140 to 200 vitrified and a 400. That's going to cover most of my sharpening needs personally because I like high bite edges. You know, I'm very, very rarely will I carry. Now there are certain steels that I will run up to a higher grip, but for the most part, 400, 500 grit edge. That's what I want. Yes. Now judging by the wear that I've seen off these stones so far, this one was brand new. Now it's got, the code 4 I just sharpened and this little, the sod buster. On the other one, the first one I got, I believe it's got about, I'd say 8 sharpenings, and there's zero wear. At 8 sharpenings in, there's zero wear. And a couple of those I had to actually reprofile. Is it going to wear as slowly as like FSK vitrified? No. Because the way the vitrified, the way the stone is baked, this is a much softer stone. But yes, that stone's still going to last for a long time. If you sharpen a lot, you're probably going to get a lifetime still out of it. I mean, you have 5 millimeters of abrasive. Mine looks like it has a little bit more than that, actually. But I mean, if you wear through one of these stones, you was one sharpen an ass. But I really want that 200 bad. Like I cannot wait till that stone is available. I want that 200, and I'd really like to have 1,000, and the rest I may just buy just to buy them. But that 200 and 1,000 I want big time. Yeah, I get it, man. The FSK stones, they last a ridiculously long time. Like my 5,000, and I've used it a lot on sharpening knives for people. That thing's seen a ridiculous amount of sharpening. It's never been lapped. Only dressing stone, that's it. And the others, I mean, yeah, I've done very little maintenance to the FSKs. Very, very little, and they're still perfect. And they have a lot of sharpenings on them. And I mean a lot. Man, I tell you what, up until the last like 2 months, Amazon has been spot on with their deliveries. But the last 2 months, it seems like I get every other thing I order has a delivery delay. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on with them, because for years they were on point, and now, like, I almost expect it. If I order two things, one of them's getting delayed. Like, I ordered they had a smoking deal on Magna Cut pair of three lightweights, the salt one. That, I think, $118 or $112. I think I paid $112. And yeah, I mean, that thing got delayed 3 days. And they tell you, oh, come back tomorrow. If it's not delivered tomorrow, you can request a refund. I don't want a refund. I want my damn knife. And yeah, paying, that yearly Prime membership is annoying when they're doing their job. Okay, it's worth it. Like, when I'm getting 1 to 2 day shipping on, and sometimes same day, and everything is on point, I'm happy to pay that. But when, I'm ordering stuff that I need, the knife I don't need, but I also order most of my normal everyday items from Amazon. And when I order that stuff, I need it. I don't need it 4 days later. I need it when it tells me it's going to be delivered. It's fucking annoying. I sent a buddy some atomas, and he was saying, oh no, it takes you. Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, dude, I talk to people, on Reddit frequently, and they're using them shit quality abrasives, like those $10 two-sided, like a 1000 6000 or a 400 1000, them crappy AliExpress and Amazon $10 stones. And they're getting their butts kicked with these stones. I sit there and I'm sharpening for an hour, and I don't see any progress. Like, the edge looks the same as it did an hour later, and I'm using the 400 grit side, and I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, those abrasives are terrible. I simply, spend $40, $35-40, get you a Shapton Kuramaku 320, and learn that stone. And then, yeah, it's every time, like, man, I can't believe how much of a difference there is in sharpening stones. And I'm like, yeah, that's just the beginning. Brother, I was getting charged for Prime and I wasn't using Prime. That's crazy. Speaking of that, I've had my Prime membership for I started with Prime a long time ago, like when it really first started becoming, way before it became mainstream. And I'll tell you this, still to this day, I have I did one of the, on Prime TV, I did one of the where you get like a 30-day trial, and if you don't like that package, you can cancel it. I canceled that package. This is like 3 years ago. I canceled that package before my trial was up, and randomly, and I have like 10 cards on there, wife's debit card, my debit card, credit card, etc. Like at random intervals, like once every 2-3 months, all of a sudden our phones will start dinging. From where Amazon, because we'll lock, anytime we use our card, we lock our card. That's just how we operate. And just all of a sudden you'll get like ding, 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 ding. And it's them hitting every card on there, looking for a card that's, you know, unlocked, trying to build that damn $12.99 TV package that I canceled 3 years ago. I've called them. Yeah, the package. You know the. Well, yeah, you canceled that package. It should. Well, it does. Now, it shouldn't try to bill you. Well, it does. Now I don't know, but it will. It just did it not too long, like a week ago. SSTC, is that those crappy, like, thin diamond plate, China diamond plates, like the ones that Outdoors 55 was talking about, saying they're pretty good for like $20 for a set of them? Is it that? Yeah, Shady Bastards, exactly. There's like, they're hard up for that $12.99, I'll tell you, and they will hit every card on your profile. Okay, yeah, I thought that. I know they got some strange name like that. I've never used them. What I have used, as far as cheap plates, these are actually pretty decent. You know, if you just need to strip metal off quick, or you're, you know, surfacing a whetstone, these are great. $20. They last pretty decent. They are definitely worth $20. But I found these, and where the hell is it at? Well, I say, hold on one second. I gotta find them. Dig through the stones. Where the hell is it at? I don't know it's here. What? Oh, there it is. Okay, I was about to say, I know it should be right there. This brand, these were $13, and they had a full set of them. They had a 200, 600, 300, 1000, I think a 400, 1200. These are pretty decent plates for $15. Like, it's hard to believe they can actually make this good of a plate. I mean, there's definitely some contamination, 100%. It has it. Not terrible, but it has some. And they hold up well. Like, this one's been used a decent amount, and it's still got lots of bite. But for $15, I think even $13 I paid for them. These are a smoking deal for that. Like, they make a good, you're not going to get no super fine edges off of them. Even like on that 1000 side, it's probably more realistic, like a 600 grit scratch pattern. But a sharp ball is hitting this way. I got this one. I have the normal, the normal one too, but where's it at? Yeah, I went ahead and grabbed this one too on Prime Day. I think I paid like $32 for it, the 200, 600. Fantastic stones for $35, $32, whatever it was. Like, the 200 is nice and aggressive, cuts really fast. Reminds me very much of like the old DMT 220s. The Dia-Sharp 220s from like 10, 12, 15 years ago. Very much what this reminds me of. Nice sharp diamonds, cuts. Yeah, this is a great stone for, I don't know what they are now, but I think, like I said, I paid $32, $33, something like that. This is a good stone. How long is that centered stone? I believe it's 8 1/4. Hold on one sec. It is. Yes, 8 1/4 by 2 3/4. Let me double check that. Yeah, 2 3/4 by 8 1/4. Tell you what, dropping this S35VN down like 2 degrees per side, and this is, you know, that's pretty thick knife. At 400, just eat that S35VN up quick. Man, if you get old DMT plates, they're so good. I have a set of them from that I picked up from Home Depot, like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. And they're still to this day, they're so good. Anything made in the last couple years, it's like a completely different company. Like, I got one of they had a smoking deal on the 220 DMTs on Amazon like a month ago, 2 months ago. I picked one up. I think I paid 28 bucks. They have one of them flash deals, $28. I say, yeah, I know, you know, I'll give it a shot. And I mean, I kept it, but they're just not, they're no good, man. The diamond's different. The diamond, if look under a magnifying glass or like a microscope, if you look at the diamond of the old stones versus the newer stones, the diamond is different. It's not them sharp, crisp, pointy diamonds. It's the diamond is more rounded, and that's why they have that skatey feel, and they don't cut steel very quickly. If you look at these under a microscope, these are nice, sharp diamonds. Not to mention the coverage is just not all that great. Yeah, DMT really, really fell off. And it's sad because they used to make such a good product. Even their little pocket stones, like these. These here are old. I've had these for a long time. It's a 325 and 600. These right here are good stones. I've had these like, I don't know, 10 years, maybe more. They've sharpened, you know, they've touched up many hundreds of knives, and they're still great. But the new ones, they're just shit. Yeah, exactly. The diamond coverage and spacing is just wrong. Like, I do like my Atoma plates. I really do, but to be honest, these Sharp All plates, I think I like them better than I do the Atomas, to be honest. I really, really love that 325, the Sharp Owl, and I really love this 220. So much, I have 2 of each of them. But I found what I think is the best electroplated stone I've ever used. Period. Even better than the old DMT stuff. And it is this right here. I'd have to dig it out, but they're expensive. They're, I think, 170 bucks. Rikon 300, 800 CBM plate. That is, to date, the best electroplated stone I've ever sharpened on. If you pick you one of them up, it's so good. Like I typically wouldn't consider paying $170 for, you know, an electroplated stone. That one, when it wears out, I will buy another one. I got the 152, I think, yeah, 150 220 or 150 250. Yeah, that. I got that one, and I got the 300 800. That 150 is a steel eating animal. So is that 250. The 300 and 800 is just, the 300 is fantastic if you like a nice aggressive edge, and the 800 is really great if you like a, you know, a keener edge. But it's good. Hey man, you have a good one, Greg. Thanks for stopping in, bro. But yeah, sometimes they're normally like 170 bucks. But if you look around, sometimes Amazon will have them at $99. If you can pick one up for $99, I guarantee you will be happy. Because they're still a good, they're at $170, they're still a good stone. And if you can get it for $100, it's fantastic. You have some of these DMT pocket stones. They're so good, man. But I think my number one pocket stone, believe it or not, is just a Spyderco double stuff too. Except how I did mine, I took, because I had the double stuff and the double stuff too, I took them apart and I put the CBN and the medium ceramic together, because I didn't really care about the fine ceramic, so I made me a perfect stone with the CBN and the medium ceramic. I love it. That stays in my go bag. It's always on me, and I can sharpen anything quickly and very good. I can get, you know, spend a few minutes and you can literally get it hair whittling off of that medium ceramic if you take your time. Oh, okay. See, I had never heard of that brand Rikon before. I just seen, I seen that they offered, it was on sale. I think they had it at $89.99 for the 300 800 CBN plate. And I'm like, hey, at 80 bucks, you know, or 90 bucks, whatever it was, I'll give it a shot. If I don't like it, I'll send it back, you know. I bought it and I was instantly impressed. And you know, I after like 2 knives sharpened on it, I was like, went back, looked, because I was hoping they'd have lower grit set. And sure enough, they had a 150 250, and I bought it immediately. But I paid $89, I believe it was, for the 300 800, but I paid full price for the 150 250. And you know, and normally I wouldn't consider paying $170 for a electroplated stone, but yeah, it's worth it. It really is. I know there's a German company that sells supposedly very high quality electroplated CBM plates. They're called, like, hell, I don't know. It's some weird word, like, I don't know how to say it, but something Masters, I believe it's called, like Schleipner Masters or something like that. And they sell electroplated CBM plates, and I've heard from a couple people that they're very good, and they're not priced all that bad neither. I've never never went through the hassle of ordering them. But I do want to try a set. Yeah, exactly. That's where I found them from too. Never a dull moment. It's those. I do want to try a set of them because I've seen on Reddit, you know, from in the sharpening Reddit, a lot of people there have said, you know, they're great stones. Ooh, that's a toothy edge. Good Lord. That has crazy bite.
I've been looking for loose CBN to make my own suspension, but
Well, yes and no. I do know of a company that sells loose CBN, but the problem is, and well, number one, it's expensive, but number two, the grading to get the good graded stuff, and the company that sells it's a U.S. company. If you want it, I can get you in contact with them. They sell very high end, you know, loose diamond and CBN. Well, the problem with it is to their grading is too loose. Even the most expensive one, their tightest graded stuff, like it's got too much of a variation of particle size. Like for example, the you get 3 micron, it'll be a 3 to 5 micron size range, and I can deal with that there. But if you go to 1 micron, it's a 1 to 3 micron, and if you go to 10th micron, it's a 10th to, well, actually it's 0 to, I believe, 1.2 micron or something like that. And that shit's expensive. Like, it is expensive. About 30 times what the synthetic diamond costs. Hyperion? I never heard of them. Is that a company that sells loose powders? Like, I think the problem with getting it is just you're gonna have such a large range of particle size that it kind of defeats the purpose of it. Like, I don't want to order, you know, I don't want particle sizes ranging from a 10th micron to over 1 micron. That's not going to work for me, not for my needs. But to be honest, I really like what's it called? Jindy. I like their CBN. And the diamond stuff, the diamond spray that's on Blade Binge, I love it. The Jindy stuff is good. It just costs too much. Ah, okay. Yeah, lacy stuff. I like it because it cuts super fast, it's priced well, it lasts a long time. And to me, most importantly, I care about the cut speed anyways. I want fast cuttings, really, really fast. And lacy stuff does exactly that. The Gen D stuff, I like it too, but it's freaking messy. It's expensive and it's messy. I hate smear-on emulsions. Like gunny juice, I don't really like it. I mean, I've tried it all. Stroppy stuff is really good, but too expensive. And Lacey stuff performs just about as good as the stroppy stuff, and it's like 40% the cost per ounce. So yeah, that's when I go exactly mono versus poly, and see, like I know that's why I like stroppy stuff, because it's mono, and but they just charge too much. So and again, Lacey stuff's really good, but I like with the Gen D stuff. What I like about it, even though it's messy and it's expensive, is if you go down to the, like 1 micron and less, it finishes really, really nice. And that's just due to the CBN instead of mono diamond. Yeah, stroppy stuff is great. I'm not willing to pay the premium for it. I've bought it before, it's great, but when I can get stuff that is basically equal to it at, less than half the cost, then I'm going to go that route. Doing it with alcohol, huh? See, I've tried it before, and the problem with it is when I've done it with water, I've tried it both ways too. When I've done it with just water, the diamond, when it's on the strop, it clumps up too much. If you look at it under a microscope, it's clumped up too much, and it doesn't stick very well. And getting really consistent diamond powder is not cheap nor easy. And for me, I'd rather just buy it than mess with it, to be honest. Yeah, I mean 91% is almost, especially if it's in a fine mist, it's going to evaporate almost instantly. But there's also, when you do it with water or alcohol, there's nothing to bind the diamond to the strop. So you wind up having to reapply a lot. And that's one thing I will say, like when it comes to the blade bend stuff or Lacey stuff, a couple sprays on a strop and it's good for a while. I don't got to reload that strop for a minute. It binds to that strop very good. Now, one thing I've tried to do, because I have tried to do some CBN emulsion on my own, make it myself. This is a long time ago. Before you could get it, go on Amazon and buy it. It was just, there was only a couple places making it. And yeah, anyways, I tried to make it on my own. And what I did is I got some, of course, loose powder CBN, and I tried to put it in, what's that shit called? I can't think of it. Some type of glycerin. I can't think of the name of it. Anyways, it's a little thicker. Yeah, see, I would never go through that much of a hassle. I don't got time for that. But that's the problem with it. If you don't, yeah, that propylene glycol, that. I tried doing, and it worked. But the problem is, when you put it on the strop, you had to reapply too frequently. It would just, it lasted okay, but you was constantly having to reapply it. And it's where, like with the Gen D stuff, that max strength or whatever it's called, you treat a strop and it lasts for a good while. I'm not constantly having to reapply it. So I don't know, that there's some binder that they're using, and I don't know what that is. There's some way that the people that are making it get it to stick and not just come off and have to reapply every 2 or 3 times you strop a knife. But it did work with that propylene glycol or whatever, yeah, propylene, whatever it's called. That, you know, it worked well, but I got tired of having to reapply it all the time. It's just annoying. And for me personally, I really only like CBN at 1/2 micron and less. Otherwise, I'd rather use a mono diamond because, you know, like 6 micron CBN or 5 micron CBN, it just doesn't cut. It doesn't cut fast enough. And, you know, something else with it is that I get it. Loose powder CBN is not cheap. And, you know, so those companies are stingy with it. They're not, the concentration of it is not that high. So and that further reduces the cutting speed. So the only time I have a use for it is like if I'm doing a knife for somebody and they want a really fine mirror edge, you know, then I have a use for the like 1/2 micron and 1/10 micron CBN. But past that, man, I'm good with like 5 micron, 1 micron, and a bare leather strop. Like I'm not one that'll, like my personal knives, be it kitchen knives or anything, I am not somebody who will strop across the, like, say, you know, 9, 5, 3, 1, a 1/10 micron. I won't do that because it slicks the edge off too much. Yeah, there, exactly, Aiden. Exactly. That makes me gag too, brother. And I see so many people do it. Like, and I get it. When you first get into sharpening, before you really, I get it. I did it too. You want to put a mirror on everything, but man, there's certain steels that don't do good with a mirror, and S35VN is probably top of the heap. It's like cutting with, hell, something that, it's like trying to cut with a piece of rounded glass. It'll pop hair good and it'll cut paper good, but that's it. Any of you guys familiar with Spider or Psyche City's Psyche Spyderco LC200N? I got a couple pieces in it. And, you know, I've had other LC200N, but yeah, exactly. You can sit there and rub it on you. It ain't going to cut you. And, I mean, it'll pop hair. Hell, you probably whittle hair with it, but you'd have to push to cut yourself with it. Yo, what's up, Wes? I'm happy to see you, brother. Did you get those emulsions I sent you? Hey, man, you know, hey, I'm glad you got it, brother. Enjoy that. That's going to make your life a lot better than those wax-based chromium oxide stropping compounds. It's going to get the edges sharper and do it a whole lot faster. Hey, Aiden, now I agree, H1's terrible. But have you ever used any serrated blades in it? Yeah, I'll send you the link to where you can buy that stuff at. Man, I'm telling you, if you get serrated H1, that shit cuts forever. It just doesn't get dull. If it's a fine edge, it's terrible. But on the serrated H1 or H2, it just continues to cut. Like, I have H1 serrated knives that I've had forever, and they get the hell used out of them, and they've never been sharpened, and they just cut and cut and cut. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, on fine edge though, man, if you buy a H1 fine edge knife, you just wasted your money. It's terrible. But the Psyche City LC200N Spydercos, that is some good steel. It sharpens so nicely. And all you guys, y'all ought to check out Wes Does It's channel. He's a really cool dude, and does a lot of cool stuff with wood, and just all around cool dude. It's fun to talk to as well. Yeah, Ray, I'm the same. I'd much prefer, not, stainless factor doesn't matter to me, but I like LC200N in general, not for the stainless factor. It's a super tough steel. You can run it at really low angles, and it stays sharp pretty good. But it sharpens. It sharpens so nicely. Like, it really is a true pleasure to sharpen that steel. And yeah, Psyche K390 is spectacular, man. Like, I've had custom heat treat K390 that's not as good as Psyche's. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Kitchen knives, LC200N is fabulous steel. And again, it's one of the nicest sharpening steels I've ever sharpened. Like, get out your Shafton Kuramakus or Chaucera stones, and it's just a pleasure to sharpen. And Psyche, they have it dialed in. I would say it sharpens, yeah, I'd say it sharpens as nice as like custom heat treat AEBL. It's really good. Like, as a sharpener steel, that's, man, you know what? I've never been one. That hype steel shit, I won't get into it. Like, do I want to get a Magnamax Mule? Yes. But the only reason I really, really want it is specifically because I have every mule to date. I have every mule drop to date. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be scratching at the bits to get it. Yeah, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you here, Wes, man. It was nice seeing you, bro. And your channel deserves a shout out. It's fun to watch. But see, the thing with Magnamax, like, and this really annoys me. Dr. Warren Thomas, I get it. Dude knows his stuff. But I'm sorry, those steel charts, how do I say this without sounding like an asshole? Okay. The steel charts that he puts up, for people that know, like us, we're knife people, we're steel guys. We understand this stuff. I agree. Wes videos get me motivated. Same here, man. But when you get people that are just, your average knife consumers, or they're just, they like getting in the knife community just to talk. Those steel charts they only give an idea. They are by no means accurate to production knives, nor custom heat treat knives. They are accurate to Laren's protocols. But yet you get people like, for example, and you know, I don't want to start no shit, but I just seen a video the other day by that dude, CBRX, and I have no problem with it. His testing methodology, you know, back when he was using the wrong equipment to do the job and shouting it out like gospel, I told him, man, you know, you need to stop that because it's incorrect. And you know, of course, anyways, I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, he was talking to what's that guy's name, Manganus. He did a short fire at Manganus when Manganus was talking about, you know, the industry needs to step away from M390, and him saying that, you know, M390 is charged as a premium steel, but yet it's literally the cheapest powder steel that you can get. I mean, it's not literally, but it's close. And you know, he gets on there and him talking about, you know, he don't know what he's talking about. He was wrong on everything. I totally understand what Manganus was saying. He wasn't speaking on M390 as a whole. Custom heat treat M390 at 64 Rockwell is a fantastic steel. But production M390, there's only Spyderco's M390 is pretty good. Past that, you don't really know what you're buying. I have a lot of M390 that is absolutely garbage, and so do most people. Well, what Sharif was saying is that Sharif, that's his name. What Sharif was saying was that you know, to step over to MagnaCut, okay? You step over to MagnaCut. Now, I'm not somebody who really cares for MagnaCut very much, but he's right. The first couple runs of MagnaCut that hit the market, people was quick on it to be like, hey, this is not good. Y'all need to raise the hardness, and most companies did. So now getting 63, 64 Rockwell MagnaCut is common. Most manufacturers are doing that, and it's pretty decent. But in all this time, M390 has been kind of the go-to premium steel. Most companies are still putting out 58, 59, 60 Rockwell M390, and it just doesn't perform good. But so if you watch that CBRX guy's video, you know, of course he brings out Laren Thomas's tables, and you know, he's using that to tell somebody they're wrong when what Sharif said was actually correct. You know, and just talking mad shit about somebody. I'm sorry, but what Sharif said was a fact. The industry as a whole does not do good M390. They still run it soft, and it still performs poorly. Now, if you get good M390, it's a great steel. But the industry has not started doing consistently good M390. But CBRX, he brings out Laren Thomas's charts, and he's showing that as gospel. Oh, it's M390, so its edge retention is here. Well, no, it's not. At 61.5 Rockwell, with Laren's protocol, that's where M390 is. If you get a piece of 58 Rockwell M390, you might as well, I mean, you're going to get edge retention that's very similar to 14C 28N. That's at, you know, 60 Rockwell. M390 performs like shit if it's not 62 plus. Laren's stuff is accurate to what he does, and it will give you an idea of what that composition can do. But it's not accurate to the knife industry. And that's why I think Laren's, those charts don't do the knife industry any good, because everybody runs around shouting out, well, this is what Laren's chart says. Well, if it's not Laren's, if it's not at the same hardness and same heat treat quality, guess what? Laren's chart's irrelevant. It's, I have a G Fuel corner in 390. I really have, I can't show nobody. Yeah, you told me about that, Ray. Yeah, man, if you, I've had custom M390 that's at 64, 64 and a half, 65 Rockwell at a couple little small fixed plates. And it is a totally different steel at 64, 65 than it is at 60, 59, 60. Completely different steel. It is one fantastic performer at 64. At 59, 60, it's not very good. And that's crazy that you got a China piece of M390 that's at 64 Rockwell. That's pretty wild. Yes, Aiden, I agree. I agree 100%. Make a certified stamp, and hey, you know what? This manufacturer is doing this, and this will fall within the range of my charts, and give them a stamp. I agree. Because right now, man, there's so many people. Every steel know-it-all on Reddit, or in the comment sections of endless knife videos. Like, it just doesn't do the community no good. And they use Laren's charts to show that they're right, and they're wrong, because they're not smart enough to read that chart and see that, okay, well, this steel at this Rockwell with this protocol puts this steel right here. Like, if you go by what CBRX said, I can take like that Para 3 in MagnaCut I just got, and do a cardboard cut test against a whole bunch of China M390, and it will absolutely smash it in edge retention. But if you go by Laren's charts, well, M390's substantially higher edge retention than MagnaCut is. Like, it's annoying to me. Like, that guy CBRX, I don't know if he's good for the community or not, but I think the dude's just trying to, hell, I don't even know what he's doing. But anyways, I watch a lot of his videos and I just sit there and laugh. Chemistry is one thing, geometry and heat treat. BBB did it. Yeah, 100%. Man. I mean, flat out, it's geometry over everything. Yeah, you got Sean and Roman pushing the limits of steel, and that's what needs to be done. But that's never gonna. I mean, technically, we did get pretty much a custom heat treat with the 15D stuff. I mean, that is literally a custom built Sean Houston protocol. But like Roman and Sean pushing the limits of these steels, and many other guys. But we're never going to get that in production knives. 15B was probably the only taste of it we're ever going to get, to be honest. If you want to experience steel like that, you have to go custom. That's just the way it is. Now, the manufacturers can't do it. Yeah, Turbo, that was the one I had a friend beg me for, and after enough begging, I couldn't say no, and I sold it. It was an S390. Probably the single best sharpening piece of steel I've ever had my hands on. Yeah, I'd say that probably was the best, the best sharpening experience I've ever had was on that piece of steel. But I don't know, man. It's just the knife. The knife community is cool, and I love a lot of the people here. But there's a lot of people that really rub me wrong. He is what I call these words. Hey, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. that works actually. Hell, I'd call him a weasel, to be honest. A weasel using weasel words. That sounds pretty accurate to me. Yeah, I mean, you're going to spend $1,500-$1,800 to get a good one. Or, to get something that is going to hold a consistent and accurate temperature. For, hobbyists. 2,000, 2,500, yeah, you're gonna spend money like that. But it opens up a very, once you got it. See, the good thing about it is, once you got some experience on a grinder, and you're starting to figure it out, you can pretty easily pay for the tools that you invest in to start as a hobbyist. Down the road by just selling a few knives. Yes, exactly. It pays for itself. 100%. That was exactly the logic that I used to do it myself. Because I'm not gonna, and I'm not talking about for selling knives. I'm talking about, I want this. Well, this is going to cost me $400 here. I can buy the piece of steel for $60, and $20 of handle material, spend a little bit of time and do it myself. And have exactly what I want. So long as it's within your ability, I'll say. Are you asking, will I sell knives? No. No, I don't ever want to. I don't ever want to do that because that's going to take the fun out of it, and I don't ever want to turn it into that. About the only thing, I enjoy sharpening for people. I'll do that because it allows me, I want to sharpen. I very much enjoy sharpening, so I can sit and do that, and somebody needs their knives sharpened. Now I've got knives to sharpen, because I can't just sit and sharpen mine over and over. You know what I mean? I can't. I don't dull knives as fast as I want to sharpen them. So, I enjoy sharpening for people. Yes. If you get like Riot, for example, absolutely. But typically we don't see that. Yeah, Riot does really good M390. Yet they run it fairly soft, but it performs excellent. We just don't see it. In fact, we're not going to see it. Because it costs too much money to do. He uses the same heat treat company for CPM stuff. Yes. Now, I'll go with that. I had what the hell was the name of that knife? It was the first Riot I ever bought. a K something. I don't know. Anyway, it was a long time ago, and it was an M390 piece, and it was terrible, flat out. It was your typical soft china done M390. Yeah, I think yeah K2. That's what it was. And that it sharpened terrible, and it performed terrible, and I quickly sold it for I think $150. Like it, yeah, and just in general, the low HRC thing, it's unnecessary. It doesn't cost them much more to bump up the hardness. Yeah, sure, it costs a little bit more time on the grinders, but we're paying a premium, and we're getting poor performance in a lot of cases. Like, perfect example. Go buy your average piece of China done S35VN that you're going to pick up for like what, 150, 180 bucks. I'm sorry, but it's garbage. It just doesn't perform. It's going to be 57, 58 HRC, and it just performs like crap. You know, if the knife was $50, okay, fair enough, but not at 200. But I get what it is. Most of the people that are buying these knives aren't going to complain about it, because all they're doing is flipping them and cutting open some boxes every once in a while. So, they're not really putting any load on those edges. They're not working those edges. And so the bulk of their customers aren't complaining about it, and they have no reason to fix it. I have a piece. Who made that for me? Some dude on Facebook. Not a big maker, just like a hobbyist maker. He made me a little small fixed blade, and he had Peter's heat treated. And yeah, it's an S30V, I believe. And yeah, it was pretty decent. Yeah, S30V gets a bad rap because of it being chippy, because of just the companies aren't doing a very good job. Spyderco does excellent S30V. I love their S30V actually. Use the hell out of it, and it's always performed good. Custom S30V, fantastic still. I'm annoyed with the community, and me too, brother. Me too. There's a lot of good people in this community, and those are the people I'm here for. There's a lot of genuinely good people in this community, but there's a lot of shit talking know-it-alls that have no clue. That it goes right back to just the whole using Laren's charts for everything. They go out and they spit all these steel compositions out like they know everything, and they really have no clue. It's annoying, it's aggravating, and arguing with them is a waste of time. And the influencers are right there along with them. Not all of them. I mean, I don't want to say that the influencers, they are what they are. Exactly. They act like he's God. While sure, the dude knows his stuff. Sure, the dude's got a doctorate, and he does this for a living. I get it, but those charts are only accurate when using his protocols at his hardness. They are not the fucking Bible, and it's really annoying. 100%. Roman's probably the best heat treater on earth. Laren's just Laren's just doing. Hell, he's probably just using data sheet heat treats, but he's doing it, and his stuff's consistent. So, okay, you can compare the steels on the charts by that, but the problem is we know that, but the average knife user or the average knife buyer and most in the community, they look at that chart and they take that as for exactly what it is. Oh, if it's this steel, then it outperforms this steel in this metric and this metric, and they use that data sheet, or they use that chart as an end-all be-all, and they're taking it 100% literal, when that's just not the case. He's got a book, but it's only in German language. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I've never read Laren's book, to be honest. I mean, and I like Laren. I enjoy his videos, but I've said it for a long time. Those charts do not do the knife community any good. They're not a good thing for the knife community. And oh shit, more than that, man. More than that. I'd say 95% of the knife community can't sharpen. And let me rephrase that. I'd say 95% of the knife community can't sharpen at a what we would consider a decent level. Not even a good level, but a decent level. And I've said it many times. Sharpening tells you more about a steel. Sharpening tells you more about this piece of steel right here than actually using it does. I can tell, I don't need to use a piece of steel. I can tell you within a minute or two on the stones, I can tell you if that piece of steel is good or not. If it'll perform well or it won't. Hey, exactly, man. Exactly. I mean, hell, dude, think about this. How many knives right now have terrible plunge grinds that are not made for that are absolutely not made for sharpening? There's a ton of them. I'd say there's more. There's more that have piss poor plunge grinds that, hell, half the time have a smile already forming from the factory sharpening than there are decent plunge grinds. There's nothing that pisses me off more than nowadays when a company puts out a knife and it has a shitty plunge grind that's not made to be sharpened. Like, if I look at a knife design and I like it, and the plunge grind is I can tell by the pictures that the plunge grind is gonna cause sharpening issues and that I'm gonna have to cut a notch in it, yep, I won't buy it. I agree 100%. I personally don't like sharpening joint. I don't like having to knock a notch in it. I don't like it getting caught in material. Now, but when the knife is being designed, if they just put a little bit of thought into it, that wouldn't be a problem in the first place. Like Cheefarcuut, just give me a 90-degree plunge like Cheefarcuut, and I never have to put a plunge grind in it. I mean, I never have to put a sharpening choil in it, and I'm good to go. Like right here, perfect example. It comes that way from the factory, but I'm good right here. If this sharpening notch wasn't here, I don't need it. This is a perfectly done plunge. But give me a fucking QSP. What is it called? A penguin. Like, that plunge grind on that knife pisses me off so severely bad that I cannot. Oh, it drives me crazy. Like, they know better than that. 10 years ago, okay, maybe not. But nowadays, they know better than that. They know that plunge grind, and I'm not just talking on that knife, I'm talking in general. That plunge grind is going to cause you a problem during sharpening. They know it because it causes them a problem during the first sharpening. Yet they just continue to keep putting out knives like that. And it's so fucking stupid. Excuse my language. Sorry, I got kind of fired up just then. I don't know. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because of your influencers like, oh, everybody's got to have a penguin. I've got 10 of them. Yeah, you got 10 of them because you were given them. And you're showing them because you're going to get link clicks off showing them that make you money. But it's not a good knife. It's not the best $30 knife you can buy. I'm sorry, but it's not. Like, yeah, exactly. It's the influencers, man. It's like, they didn't buy that shit. They're telling you to go spend your money on it and how great it is. And you look at the knife and clearly it's never been cut with. It's definitely never been sharpened. And I don't want to sound like I'm speaking to all influencers. I'm not. There's some good influencers out there. Neves, I like very much. Even though, he's getting a little commercial, but it's his living. I get it. I like Neves very much. But I'm mainly talking about the non-knife guys that hop into the community and somehow gain a following really quickly, and then before long, well, people are looking. They're know-it-alls. Yeah, and they're reviewing a knife and telling you how great it is, and they just opened the box on camera. That's a problem. That is a problem. Yeah, that is very true, Aiden. A lot of people do struggle with the, getting right up to the plunge. That on Spyderco's. That is very true. I couldn't have said it better, Tactical Center. That's a fact. That is a absolute fact. They're an influencer that found their way in and started to get a following, and now they're starting to make money off of it and getting all this free stuff, and now they're an expert. An expert is completely full of shit. Man, dude, I'm telling you, if you want a good set of earbuds, like Beats. I know they're expensive. They're good. I've been through many different ones, and without spending a fortune, Beats is the way to go. They are good. The sound quality is excellent. They're just good. I know they're super commercial and you may not want to support the company, I get it, but for the dollar, that's the way to go in my opinion. When it comes down to it, man, it's like that. There's really not that many of us like hardcore knife guys. And when I say hardcore knife guys, I mean guys that are very much into the use and performance of knives. Most people are buying it because it looks cool. Their favorite influencer's telling them to buy it. It's got a good action. And all they're going to do with it is cut some Amazon tape anyways. Okay, I got you. But for me, it's there's only a real handful of us guys that are really into the steels, really into sharpening, and really into the performance of knives. Everybody will say they are, but there's not that many of us that truly are. I watch like 10 people talk about the news on. Yeah, well, yeah, there you go, man. Like, from my experience, as far as like just really good sound quality for the dollar, it's the Beats. But yeah, if you need something low profile, then yeah, that's probably not going to be your best option. But I don't know, man. I just the knife community. It's like I made a video a while back, and I said the knife community is a fickle place. And I'll tell you, that video is ridiculously accurate. And it's even more so now than it was then 6 months ago. Like, it's just, the knife community as a whole is a very fickle place. And it's kind of dumbfounding to me, because at the end of the day, this right here is a tool to cut something with. And all there really is to it is it comfortable in hand? Is the lock reliable? Is the geometry good? Does the blade shape suit what you need it to do? And is the geometry good for what you need it to do, and the steel that the knife has? That's almost the entirety of this tool right here. The problem is that it's not looked at like that anymore. Most people are not buying it as a tool. They're buying it as, oh, a piece of flicky floppy pocket jewelry. And a lot of those that buy it for that reason will speak to people like they're experts, and they know, and they know, they just know everything about every knife and every steel out there. And they go around and they just tell it to everybody. And then it really does spoil the knife community, because then you get others that go and say, well, this person told me this and he knows what he's talking about. And before long, it's just a bunch of parrots repeating the same thing, and none of them know what the fuck they're talking about. A 100%. 100%. Like, it's that. Is it comfortable in hand? Does the lock work? Is the geometry good? Is the heat treat and steel choice good for what you need the knife to do? Like, it's a cutting tool. There's not that much to it. But I don't know. It's just, people are fucking strange, man. That's the best way to say it. People are. I guess everybody wants to know everything and act like there's some fucking savant, and it's really annoying. It's really annoying. And that CBRX dude, he's the fucking leader of the pack. Like I like the guy. I think, you know, he makes okay videos, but man, he needs to stop speaking as an expert on stuff that he just, I don't even know how to explain it. The people that don't truly know knives deeply and understand them from a deep use point of view, they don't need to speak as though they're the knife Jesus. You know what I mean? I like more grounded makers. Same here, bro. Same here. I like the tenacious, this knife off the big blade maker. Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? I've got the M4 tenacious, and that knife poked it. It's good. Sharpens nicely. Still feels good. Mine poked at I think like 64 and a half. It's pretty decent M4. I have no complaints about it, and it's just a comfortable user knife that performs damn good. At 140 bucks, I think they run. That it's absolutely worth that. It is genuinely a high performance knife. I want to say knife haters too, but yeah, tell me about it, bro. So we ought to make a fucking podcast. That pissing people off real good. Hey, McCaws, what's up, brother? Have a good time at work, man. Enjoy your day, brother. Absolutely, Aiden. 100%. It's definitely, mine's definitely thinner than the, I don't have the S35BM one. I hate that steel, but the ACR, yeah, the import one's definitely ground thinner. Quite a bit thinner, actually. That thing's a cutting machine. And you know, I've got some. I need to get out and spend some more time with it. But I've got an old PM2 and S30B, and believe it or not, it was just a spare. Um, and man, that's the best production. That specific, and I have other, I have a lot of Spyderco S30B, and it always performs pretty solid. But that PM2, that thing, it must have been in the perfect spot in that oven, because that is some damn good S30B. I want to take it out. I need to grab it and do a cut test, do a video cut test with another S30B PM2. It'll kill it. Like I got the grill of S30B PM2s because that thing is so good. It's way better than any other S30B I've ever had in a production knife. I need to dig it out. I was actually thinking about doing that test, doing that cut test on video the other day, and I just forgot about it. But I wanna see how much longer it'll cut, and I wanna do 2 sharpening back to back on both of the S30V PM2s I got. My brother got me a Steve Lowry S30V. I didn't know he was working, that he did any knives in S30V. I figured he mainly worked with probably like M4, 4V maybe. I love S30V, man. I really do. Like, it's such a good steel, and it gets a lot of hate. And I understand. I do get it. I've had some really shitty Benchmade S30V. I've had some other, just random companies S30V that's terrible. CPM D2. Oh yeah. Hey, I love CPM D2. Great steel. Sadly underutilized. And catches a bad rap for no reason, because it's a good performer. But to some extent I get why S30V catches such a bad rap, but man, if you just get some golden Spyderco S30V, that is a damn good performing steel. Yeah, same here, man. I think most of that, couldn't have said it better myself. I think most of the damage comes from Benchmade. I've had 5 or 6 pieces, and I don't buy much Benchmade. And I've had 5 or 6 pieces from them in S30V, and it ranged from not quite decent to terrible. That's where those 5 or 6 knives ranged as far as steel quality or heat treat quality. I've literally been sharpening. I have a S30V bug out, and this is no kidding, no exaggeration. Sitting there sharpening it, and have a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch chunk of the apex just break off the knife. I mean, literally just off the stone, and where the hell my apex go? Like even worse than like the first run Maximet from Spyderco. Literally just chunks of the apex breaking out. And yeah, I mean, yeah, box it up, send it to them, and they'll send you a new knife. But are you going to get a good one? That, like, probably not. Now, I have a S30V Benchmade Fact. It's pretty good. And I have another bug out that's in S30V, and it's pretty good. But most of it has been shit. Their CPM D2 has been pretty good. Their M4 has been pretty good. Their 154 CM has been pretty good. I've never used their CPM 154, so I don't know. Their S90V, really bad. It's just, I use a lot of S90V, so I have an expectation of edge retention with that steel, and theirs comes nowhere close, and it doesn't sharpen that nicely. And their crew wear was pretty good, but Benchmade had higher. And that's probably that's probably what caused the issues with the apex just breaking away. It's probably just severely burned edges. They don't do in-house. I didn't know that. Yeah, I thought they heat treated in-house. And I really don't have nothing against Benchmade. I mean, if I did, I wouldn't own any of their knives. They're too expensive for what they are. I get why they're expensive. I get why they price what they do. I totally understand it. I was just talking to a guy about it the other day. It's not Benchmade charging you this for a knife. Benchmade sells to a distributor. Benchmade has to make their profit. The distributor has to make their profit. The retailer has to make their profit. And Benchmade's MAP ensures that the retailers can make a reasonable profit. I get that. But they still are too expensive for what they are, and in my opinion. And the performance, if you get a good one, they perform great. That green handled S30V bug out I got, it's fucking fantastic. But I've also had three other bug outs that I had that were shit in order to get that one good one. Now, I will say, all it took is me calling them, complaining, hey, you know what, I'm sharpening this. There's problems with this steel. Send it in. They send me a new one. Like, their warranty is fantastic. But I shouldn't have to send in 3 knives that were piss poor to get one good one. And that's my problem with them. But I'm by no means a Benchmade hater. A lot of people are, and I get why they catch so much hate, but at the same time, Benchmade does make a quality knife. They really do. Their M4 is damn good too. I have no problem with Benchmade M4. It's very good. Yes, I 100%. I've had Spyderco's, like, and if you watch my channel, I speak highly of Spyderco. But with that said, I've had Spyderco's that wasn't wasn't all that. I've had some bad ZDP 189 from them on a Cali. That steel had problems, 100%. I've had some bad VG10 from the Psyche knives, but you know, overall, most pieces I've had from them, I've been anywhere from extremely happy to pretty happy with. Very, very few letdowns with Spyderco. Tell me about it, Aiden. I don't understand. There's no way they can sell those, that they're going to sell very many of those knives at the prices they're at with it. I mean, they're not tried. They're not true. You know, people don't know if they're decent, if they're great, if they're shit. We don't know. I just can't believe people are going to buy them knives with how they're priced. I haven't even watched any videos on them. 100%. If we don't see them marked down by like 35% or so in the next couple months, I'd be very surprised. And see, I haven't watched any videos, so I don't know. I've seen them on some websites, looked them over, like, what the hell is this? Has anybody done any videos, or if they have, how are they talking about them? Are they decent or are they shit? Where are they at? I'm sure somebody's done a video on them. No content creator did any testing. Oh, okay. So just like overviews then. I mean, I'll tell you, I have sharpened some Leatherman MagnaCut. It was on one of the multi-tools somebody needed sharpened. I did that edge for them. I can tell you flat out, it's not hard. It's probably down at like 60, 61, something like that. It's very soft MagnaCut. So now, whether the knives will be that way, of course I don't know, but that multi-tool with the MagnaCut blade that's pretty soft MagnaCut. That was Gerber USA. Doesn't both use stack metallurgy like Benchmade. Oh, okay. You know, I've got some S30V from Benchmade. I mean from Gerber, and I have no complaints with that S30V. I've got, I think, 3 knives in it from them. It's good. It's actually really good. Yeah, Skeletal. But I think the guy took, and what was crazy, that dude told me he paid like $300 for that thing. I was like, what the fuck? $300 for a multi-tool? Because it has a MagnaCut blade? Are you kidding me? Leatherman was like 61. Okay, yeah, there you go. Oh, so are you talking about the tool? It is like 61, or the knives themselves? Yes, with the multi-tool, I would say it was probably in the 60, 61 range. And the reason I say that is because I've sharpened quite a few of the first run Hogues in MagnaCut. They was right at 60 Rockwell, and it feels just about the same. It's clearly soft. I don't know about the tool. Okay, so it is the knives. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if they're running them at 61 on the EDC knives, that's just stupid. And they have to know, with as hard as the community has been on soft MagnaCut, there is no way that the director of operations that's running that knife division did not know that people are going to raise hell if you put out 60, 61 HRC MagnaCut in a folding knife. And if he didn't, he shouldn't be the director of operations. Like, MagnaCut's been out too long for anybody to be putting out a folder at 61 Rockwell. We know it don't perform good there. Exactly. 5 minutes of research and you know, hey, if it's not 63, 64, it's not going to perform very good at all. You know, at 60, you might as well have just bought a piece of 14C. Kershaw and ZTE. That's terrible. Yeah, they're 20 CV and M390s. It's not very good. Lion Steel, never had any of their M390. I've had other Italian M390 and it's laughable. But I've never had any from Lion Steel do it, so I'm sure it's terrible. Hell, it's like it with those Italian companies. I mean, you know, if you're buying a piece from them, especially an M390, you know you're getting a soft piece of steel. You know it. There's no question about it. Now, I have some Lion Steel LMAX, actually pretty decent. I have no complaints. But typically, you know, I really don't care too much for Italian knives just because you can expect soft heat treats. And yeah, and that is one thing about that Lion Steel. That is a thick fucker. Like, that's way too thick of a grind for a 3-inch pocket knife. I got it for dirt cheap. I think it was, I don't know the name. It's got like a Persian style blade, kind of sweeps up. Micarta handles, a wire pocket clip. It's M390. I believe I paid, it's actually a decent little knife. And I think I paid like 40, maybe 60 bucks for it, brand new. For that, yeah, it's alright. I actually did a sharpening video on it on here. And yeah, I mean, it's clearly soft. And it's an LMAX actually, not M390. But it's on the softer side for sure. But it's not bad. It's just too thick. Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. It's because I created the M390 for the phone. Ah, I did not know that. That's interesting. So that they just built up a protocol and avoided the cover sheet protocol from Bowler? Well, that's stupid. Yeah, that don't make no sense at all. And it does. It performs. It tickles me every time I see, you know, somebody advertise, oh yeah, M390, 5860 Rockwell. Completely ignored it. I mean, see, that tells you right there. How stupid can people, like, that's just stupidity. And it's baffling to me. Like, why? Tell me about it, Aiden. I don't know, man. It's the production knife world. It needs some of the people that are running these companies really need to go. They're clearly not knife people. They're clearly not anybody who cares about performance. And again, the part that really it drives me crazy. They could drastically increase the performance to the consumer without increasing cost very much at all. So, I mean, I could understand if it would increase prices drastically and eat into their profits, or they have to raise prices and then sell less units. But the fact of the matter is, they could increase performance significantly without very much cost increase and provide a substantially better product to the consumer. But they won't do it. It's old, yeah, exactly. It's old heads. It's your typical, oh yeah, 420 HC. That's the best stuff out there. And if it's a hard use knife, you got to have 1095. It's assholes like that are running these companies, or I assume anyways. Like it's not that hard. It wouldn't cost that much money to simply just run the steel. I mean, hell, in most cases, just use the damn data sheet heat treat protocol, and you're gonna have a good performing piece of steel. It's baffling, man. Like, it really is. Like, I've tested some M390 from CJRB, and that shit was at low 56 Rockwell. It was on a button lock, I don't know, a feldspar, I think it's called. It was a White Mountain knives exclusive. It had like a fat carbon, I think, and M390. Yeah, and it's like 56.2 Rockwell. How? Like, why? That knife, and I guarantee you, every one of them were in that 56 to 57 Rockwell range. It's like, it's just baffling to me, man. It's baffling. %. If you go back on, I've got posts on Reddit from a long time ago, and I said flat out that when they were saying it was powder steel, that was bullshit, and then with the spray form, that's bullshit, and it's electroslag, 100%. They don't have. There's no companies over there that do what they're saying. So it has to be, because yeah, it's bullshit, man. Like it, at RPM 9, it's terrible. I will say I have a couple, 2 or 3 pieces of it that's okay for a $30 knife. It's okay. But I also have multiple that are absolute garbage.
Dude, I mean, there's nothing in the long run to screw you.
Exactly. And they are. That's exactly what they're doing. They're screwing their consumer base. That is exactly 100% correct. Yeah, man, I'll take 9CR RPM, and it. You hear all the people say, "Oh yeah, it's like a spray form or a powder form 9CR." No, it's not. 9CR is a pretty damn good performing steel, typically. RPM 9 is not a good performing steel typically, not even close. I actually, and speaking of that, I have one of the new, what are they calling it? AR SF2, I think. Supposedly their new spray form steel. I've got one of those in, and I'm gonna cut test it, because I heard that it's supposedly like a spray form 154 cm. I'll do a XRF test on it, hardness test, and a cut test on it here soon. I'm curious I really want to see the composition and my hardness run. I know Outpost 76, I believe he cut tested it not too long ago, and he said it performed pretty decently, up around S30V actually. So we'll see. I'm really curious to see how it performs. But if it's anything like RPM 9, man, That is just not a good steel. Yeah, all the influencers tell how great it is. Like, and what I said it. I made a video on it. And what was really funny to me was all the influencers saying how great RPM 9 was and how it's like, you know, edge retention that's like good D2 and all this mess, and they were talking it up. Then all of a sudden Laren did that video and it come out that Laren, you know, said it's not a powder form steel, and of course they all have been, oh yeah, it's great because you're getting a powder form steel at 30, 40, 50 dollars. Buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. And then all of a sudden that message from Laren, or that video from Laren, come out, and all of a sudden all them reviewers that praised it every week because of all the fucking knives they put out, and you know, it says constantly RPM 9 knife reviews, and all them reviewers started shitting on it and saying that it's not that great of a steel and how the edge retention, they started shitting on it a little bit. And then 2 or 3 months went by, and all of a sudden, you know, the community kind of forgot about all that, and then they were right back talking about how great RPM 9 was again. That's some bullshit. That right there is just them. Oh, the community's mad, so I got to pretend to be mad and not. And I can't say click my links on this because people are going to know that I'm just trying to make money. And then, but they'll forget about it, and then we'll go back to saying how good CJRB, such good knives for the money again. Oh, it pisses me off, dude. It pisses me off so bad. Like, I mean, and why it really rubs me so wrong is because, yeah, to them it doesn't matter because those knives are coming across their desk. It doesn't cost them a cent. You know, they're getting all that shit for free. And then they're telling you how great it is. They haven't even used it. They're just telling you it's great. But you're spending your hard-earned money on that stuff. You're not getting that knife for free. They forget that shit. You're spending your actual hard-earned cash on that. Something that they're telling you, oh yeah, that's a great for the money. When in reality, they don't know if it's decent or not. They haven't used it. They just opened the box, clicked it a few times, told you it's a cool knife, go buy it. Use my links. And you're spending your money on it, and then you're getting anywhere from an okay piece of steel for the money to a complete piece of shit. If you look at this knife right here, where's that fucker at? Hang on one sec. This right here, literally some of the worst steel this right here, you ought to go watch the video I put up on this knife. This is the worst piece of steel I've ever had in my hands. And I mean that literally. Literally the worst piece of knife steel I've ever had in my hands. And the thing is, now this one, yeah, this one's exceptionally bad. But this is not the only bad piece of RPM 9 I've ever had. I've had quite a few pieces that ranged anywhere from just usable to, you know, not absolutely terrible, but definitely not good. That ranged from that to this shit. This here might as well be fucking aluminum. And you know what pisses me off? I emailed. I was like, hey man, you know, I want my money back, or fucking send me another knife, because this is wrong. I don't care if it only costs $30. I don't care if it only costs $30. You sold me a piece of shit. I want my money back, or I want another knife. So I emailed them. They wouldn't answer me back. So I went on. I'm like, hey, you know what? I might not get a lot of views on eBay. I mean on YouTube, but on TikTok, my videos might get anywhere from 500 to 50,000. I was like, I'm gonna tell you what, if nobody answers me back and solves this issue within a week, I'm gonna blast y'all on TikTok. And guess what? Somebody magically got back to me. Somebody magically got back to me. They don't want that negative press on TikTok. They refunded me my money. Well, actually, because I bought this on Amazon, they actually refunded my money through PayPal. That is, how much did you pay? I sent them the receipt, and they fucking send me a PayPal for what I paid for it. They're like, oh, we're gonna send you another one. We want you to be a happy customer. But this right here, I guarantee you, I can take this knife right here. Well, if you go watch the other video, you'll see it. And do this on this table, just light strokes. And that edge will completely abrade flat and roll over. TikTok has more audience than China. So yeah, exactly. They did. As soon as I threatened them with TikTok, they got something done about it. And again, here, yes, I don't get many views, but I have a lot of posts on TikTok that get 20, 30, 40,000, 50,000 views. If I go, and when I go live on TikTok, you know, I'll have 500, 600, 1,000 people come through that stream. My favorite. Oh man, I love my 150 CPM 154 Norseman. It's fantastic. That's fantastic. It's a great performing knife. I got that knife for a steal too. I paid basically brand spanking new on a Facebook group, $600. Yeah, exactly. Except when I bought mine, I paid $600 for it when they were, you know, $1,000, $1,100, $1,200. And when I say it was brand new, crispy and packaged, it was brand new, brand spanking new. If somebody I know on Facebook, they needed to get rid of it, and they needed to get rid of it quick. 100% I agree. It's a $600 knife, realistically. They're not worth, in my opinion, they're not worth $1,000. They're a nice, high quality $600 knife. And I'll tell you, man, I know a lot of people, you know, hate on the Norseman for that blade shape, but once you have used one for a while, that becomes such a user-friendly blade shape that it's insane. I love that knife. And mine's been used to hell and back. In fact, next sharpening I'll sharpen that knife. I've seen almost every revision of Gunpowder. Yeah, you know, to be honest, I'm not really into. Okay, how should I say this? When I picked that knife up, I didn't pick that knife up because I was shopping for a Grimsmo. Personally, at the time, if somebody had asked me, did I want a Grimsmo, I'd have said, hell no, I'd never, you know, I'm never going to pay that kind of money for one. But when it's somebody I know, they're kind of in a bind and they need cash quick, and they're willing to make a deal, okay. So, you know, I bought it fully expecting that I'll keep it for a little while. If I like it, I'll keep it. If I don't, you know, I'll sell it and make me $100, $200 on it. So that's why I bought it. After a week or two of use, I was like, hey, I love this knife. It ain't going anywhere. Now, but I'm not really into and I don't want to call the Norseman a hype knife, even though it kind of is. The hype is what drives the cost and the exclusivity. I'm not really into knives like that. If I've got to fight to spend my money on something that I want, and almost get a. It's almost a privilege to be able to buy that, if you understand what I'm saying. If I've got to do that, then I really don't. I'm probably not going to support your brand. You know what I mean? I I want to. I want to be able to, without too much of a hassle, buy this product. I'm not going to go get in no fucking lotteries, you know, to have a chance to buy your knife. That's not my style. But I will say, yes, exactly. It's just what I was fixing to say. They have an excellent build quality. Their action is fantastic. The blade shape, yeah, it's funky, but it's super usable. Actually mine's not in. It's the same steel, of course, but mine's not CPM 154. It's RW. It's the R. I have a RWL 34. Yeah, exactly, a horse peen knife, exactly. I mean, that's what it is. It's a fucking horse dick. What it looks like, but it around the shop and just in general use, especially for scraping and stuff, it's fantastic, man. And that nice recurve it just cuts good. You got nice geometry, and it strops back really nicely. It touches up really nicely on a ceramic rod. It's just a good user knife. That's all there is to it. I've had it a long time, and it's only had one. I've only sharpened it once, and it's had a shit ton of use on it. But it needs a new edge. So the next sharpening video I do, I'll sharpen that knife, because I don't think I've ever seen a video on how to sharpen a Norseman. So that would probably be helpful to some people. Another one is Edgy Blade Work. He has one that is just the head. Really? On my Norseman, like, I have no complaints about the heat treat or anything. Okay, I misread. I thought she was talking about the Norseman. I was going to say that RWL 34 it's done pretty damn good. I have no complaints. Edgy Blade Works. I'm not familiar with them, so it looks like a dickhead. That's funny. Yeah, I've never heard of Edgy Blade Works, so I'll have to look that up. But I kind of want one of the Grimsmo Rask. I want one of them. I've sharpened a bunch of them, and I really like the geometry of that knife. And they look nice. I kind of want one, but I'd have to find the right deal. $400 or $500 about all I'd be willing to go on that. I definitely ain't paying $8, $9. Hell no. I'd have to, even to pay $500. I'd have to seriously think about it. But I do really like that knife. Holy Knives? That a brand? Never heard of them. Ah, thank you, Aiden. Holy Knives. Is that the brand? Because if they have something that's similar to a Rask and the pricing's right. Ah, Holt. Yeah, I'm familiar with Holt. I'll have to check them out. I haven't looked at them in a long time. Or I've heard of them. I don't know if I've ever seen them or sharpened any, but I've heard of Holt Blade Works. I'll check them out, because if they got something that's similar to a Rask and it's priced right, I'd be all over that. It does. But man, the geometry, I'm telling you, I've had probably 15 Rask that I've sharpened for people, and Holt Gym ones are like 500, but not. Yeah, I see it. I said I could do that. $400 or $500. I could respect that if the quality's there. Um, but I'll tell you that the geometry of those rasp is it's they come down so nice and thin, much thinner than like any of the TRM knives do. And while I like TRM knives, I really don't. And I might catch some hate for this, but and again, they do make a nice knife, and the pricing is reasonable to some extent. But I don't understand what all the rage is behind them. I really don't. It could be that, because it very well could be that they're just doing a direct conversion, Canadian to USD, and not. It's Yeah, and see, I bought from them, but I don't know. I've never spoken with any of the. I know a lot of people say the owner's really cool, and I get that, and that definitely has me supporting a company. The staff definitely has something to do with it. Like, if they're really good people, that makes me want to support them. But yeah, I've never talked to any of them, and they do make a really good knife. I'm not saying they don't. I just don't think they. To me, the knives themselves don't aren't. They're spoken of so incredibly highly, and they're just a decent knife. To me. Now, if I meet the people, then maybe I'd look at it differently. And another one, American Blade Works. That's another one. Yes, they make a damn nice knife. It's priced right. It's a good quality tool, good geometry, the whole 9 yards. But if you listen to people talk about them, you'll think they're the damn greatest thing ever made. And personally, they're just a good knife. That's what I consider them. I think a lot of it's hype, especially like with the American Blade Works stuff. I'm sure that YouTube hype has a big part of why people talk about them the way they do, and they are a good knife. They're just not as the fucking world beater that people will make you think they are.